Do you ever see a miniature that you think, oh man, that's going to be so fun to paint? So you buy it, you put it together, and then you're looking at it, and all you can think to yourself is, I can make this better. I do. And I've ruined a lot of miniatures because I think that way. But this time, I think I've done it better. I don't know. You'll have to tell me what you think. Let's get into it. So first thing I have to get out of the way is I'm not making the model better. The models are great, and I'm not trying to put down any designer that's out there because I bought this because of how it looked. And then I got it and I thought, man, I could make this more dynamic. And so I shouldn't say that I'm making the model better. I'm just making it more my style. And hopefully I have a style. That's kind of what the whole, getting to know yourself as a painter is about, is trying to find your style. And so I think my style of painting also involves a little bit of sculpting. And so what I've done is I've taken the War Rig. It is a fantastic new model for Warcrow. I absolutely love it. I've talked about it in the past because I love the fact that it has a 2-driver cockpit. And I don't know, I just, in a fantasy world where this comes from, I just thought, man, that is a cool miniature. I gotta have it. And the people at Corvus Belli were amazing and sent me one to work on, and I might have to buy another one after I've ruined this one. But that's okay, because I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and I'm learning a lot as I go. And I feel like the more you get into miniature painting, the more you do want to explore and make a miniature yours. And there's nothing that does that better than changing up the sculpt of it a little bit. But a lot of work goes into it. And I'll be the first one to say that sometimes it's not worth the work you do. In my opinion, right? The ones that I've done. But this one, although it's taken me so long to get it to this point, I'm really happy with it. And I hope that when I paint that and it's done, it reflects that. But let's get into the changes that I've made on this thing so far. Okay, so as you can see, this thing does not look like it did on the box. And I had to do a lot. Like, one of the things I'm kicking myself for is that I pretty much put it together beforehand. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had to cut the joints and the arms, and I cut them. But if I had just done it out of the box, I would not have had to have cut them. I would have just had to have found a way to build the joint in between here. But that's okay. You live, you learn. The hand itself was in a fist. I didn't want it to be in a fist anymore. I wanted it to be reaching over this. And as you can see, the fingers, they're not done. I still have a lot of sculpting to do. But with this, I decided to let them dry so that I could cut them out afterwards and just kind of sand them and do what I needed to do. It was one of those things that it was so small and my hands were shaking so much at the time that I was like, I'll just let it be. But I had to cut the wrist and both of the shoulders and obviously the fingers off, and I had to cut the boot off of the rock and kind of make it look like the other one right here. And so there's a lot of like cleanup work that had to be done just to get these to look right. And when I paint it, it'll all look better, and I'll do a final sanding and things like that beforehand. But ultimately, I got it to the point where I was very happy with it. The last thing that I did, I actually did just a couple minutes ago, was I cut this leg. I wasn't happy with him having both feet flat, because when he stands, he's flat, right? And I thought if he's jumping over the edge, this would be bent. And I know that's like a human movement to give to a machine, but I really liked it. And I mean, they're magic. These guys inside, they're little magical drivers, and so they're piloting it with that magic. And because of that, it bends. At least that's how I'm putting it in my mind. But yeah, so anyway, I was super happy with that. And I still have to fill this in with some more of my 2-part epoxy putty and make it look right. But then other than that, yeah, I got some cleanup work. I'm going to paint it. I'm going to finish up this base. I got some cutting on this thing to do to make it look the way that I want it to. But ultimately, I am very happy with this dynamic pose. And I think it looks awesome from the back too. Like he's just like jumping over. He left destruction behind. But yeah, so anyway, that's what I've done on this model so far. War rig. It's amazing. So one of the things that I did kind of want to show in detail as I was doing this, just because when I first started, I wasn't sure how to do it, was how easy it is to change the pose. So once you cut the arm off, you know, it's got to swivel, it's got to move. So how do you do that? Well, the way that I've done it, and that I feel like is the easiest way, is to just drill a small hole in both sides. So this is where the arm would meet up with the body. And I've just got a little hand drill. You don't need a Dremel, you don't need anything, you know, $5 little drill set. And you drill in a little bit. Make sure the drill bit's the size of a piece of metal that you have. I use a paper clip because I like it. And then you put that into both sides and you can bend it however you want. And it just makes it super easy. And I really like doing it this way. So now, obviously, I'm not done with it. I've got some more things I want to do with it. I want to cut some foam bricks out. I'm trying to decide whether or not I should have it like exploding out of the wall and have like bricks flying around, which I don't know how to do, but I'm willing to look into figuring it out. You know, I think I can do it with like some wire and things like that. Or if I should just have it, you know, jumping over the ridge to get into combat. Honestly, I would love your opinion if you want to throw that below. What you think is an action shot a cooler thing to do, or is, you know, just having the miniature doing its thing and not making it so action packed because the stance itself is action packed the way to go? Or is there a third option I'm not even thinking about? So if you have a suggestion for me, there's time. Get it in the comments. Let me know. I'm still working on this thing, and I'm hoping to have it painted up and ready for next week's video. But in the end, I have had a blast putting this thing together. Was it a little dangerous? Yes. Was it a little scary sometimes because I didn't know if it was going to work? Absolutely. But in the end, it's been a lot of fun to just work on it, to get it together, and I'm hoping that by the time it's finished, it looks exactly the way that I wanted it to. And there are some things with the sculpt that I kind of to the point where I feel like it's okay as it is and I don't want to change it. Are there things I would have done differently? Sure. But hindsight's 20/20, right? And with a model like this, just getting it to a point where you like it, where you love it, is enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. I was watching something earlier today about mini painters putting stress on themselves, and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to put so much stress on myself anymore. I'm going to get it to a point where it looks awesome, and I'm going to be okay with that. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it's awesome, that's good enough. So that's what I'm going for. So do you like to kit bash? Do you think it's worth what I've done to this to make it look this way? Or do you think the things that you've done, like have you taken things apart? How far have you gone to kit bash a miniature and make it the way you want? Let me know in the comments below, because I would love to know what other people are doing. And as always, if you liked this content, if you want to see what this thing looks like next week, please like, subscribe, hit that little bell, and hopefully when that video comes out, you'll be notified that it's there, and you can come and check it out and let me know if you think what I did was worth it or not. And I hope you do. I hope to see you next week. And as always, don't spend so much time building your world that you forget to spend some time in it. Until next time.